Imagine the next time you enter your English class and the teacher, instead of writing on the board, pulls down a screen and says, "It's movie time." Isn't that quite the dream? What if I tell you that you can improve your spoken English just by watching movies? Yes, that's right. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why, how, and which movies to watch in order to enhance your spoken English. I'm going to tell you why watching movies might even be better than reading books. Number 2, how to watch movies, that is the correct technique of watching movies. And lastly, 5 English movies that will definitely help you to improve your spoken English. But before I begin the video, do take a moment to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already, and definitely do press the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any of my latest uploads. So, why watching movies might even be better than reading books? Although reading books is definitely an experience of its own, there are certain benefits of watching movies that books do not provide. Number 1, accurate pronunciation. Often when we read books and we come across new words that we've never encountered before, what we do is, instead of looking up the pronunciation, we just assume how it might be pronounced, even though it might be very, very wrong. And when we use these words in our conversations without knowing how exactly they are pronounced, it can be rather embarrassing. Speaking from personal experience here, for the longest period of time, I thought the word stifling was pronounced as stifling. And I used it in my conversation, and not just conversation, I even used it in public speaking. Until one day a friend of mine pointed it out to me, but by then it was too late. Number 2, learn conversational English. So, the way English is written is very, very different from the way it is spoken, which is precisely why we have separate classes and courses on spoken English. In order to learn any language, in order to master any language, you have to fully engage with the language. People learn by imitation. So, hearing the language being spoken in movies is definitely a better way to learn conversational English that books cannot provide you. Number 3, different English movies have different accents. For example, the way Timothy Chalamet speaks English in Little Women is very, very different from the way he speaks it in Call Me By Your Name. The way Robert Pattinson speaks English in Remember Me is radically different from the way he speaks it in Good Time. These are all fantastic movies, by the way. Go ahead and give them a watch. The way English is spoken in America is radically different from the way it's spoken in Britain, Australia, India, and other places. So different places have different accents. Furthermore, different states and regions within the same country can have very, very different dialects. So unless you watch a lot of English movies from different genres and different places, you will never be able to correctly distinguish the accents from one another. But the more movies you watch, the more you engage with the language, the more you listen to the way the language is spoken, the more proficient you become in that language. Now, let me move on to how to watch movies, that is, the correct technique of watching movies. Number 1, be very, very attentive. Do not get carried away by the plot. Follow the pronunciation, follow the way the sentences are framed. If you watch a movie like an idle, passive audience, then there's very little that you can learn from it. Engaging with a language means you're actively participating in both the way it is written and spoken. So be very attentive when you're watching movies. Number 2, keep a notebook or notes app handy, so that when you come across different new idioms, new words, new ways of articulating your dialogue, something very interesting in the narration perhaps, you can write them down. Now, there might be people telling you that this is very boring, this makes the movie boring, jarring, like stopping the movie too many times and pausing to write down things that you found interesting. It can break the flow of the movie and so on and so forth. But remember one thing, you are watching the movie with a purpose, and that purpose is not just entertainment, it's education plus entertainment. So if you're watching a movie with a purpose, it's better that you keep a notebook or a notes app handy so that you can write down whatever you find new or interesting. When you're learning something, you really have to be willing to go that extra mile, to take that extra step, No matter what anyone tells you, that do not do this, it's boring, it breaks the flow, do not listen to them. Keep a notebook or a notepad handy and write down what you find interesting, because chances are if you do not do that, right after the curtain comes down, you will not remember any of those things. So instead of going back and watching the movie again to register those words that you found interesting the first time you watched them, it's far better to have a notebook or a notepad or a notes app in your phone where you can write down everything that you find interesting, so that you can just go back to them and just skim through them, read them once, and you get the hang of it. Number 3, use subtitles. Yes, if you are a beginner, then obviously you won't understand the accents perfectly right from the very beginning, right? So you absolutely need subtitles. Audiovisual aids are always effective whenever you're trying to learn a new thing, and that is precisely what subtitles offer you when you are watching a movie. So if you're using subtitles, if you're turning on your subtitles, you're not just hearing the language, but also you're seeing it written down. So that's how you remember stuff better, when you both hear something and also see something. So do that. When you're watching a movie, do not forget to turn your subtitles on. Number 4, repeat your favorite dialogues. Yes, repeat your favorite dialogues. Write them down. Use them in your conversation. Please make this extra effort because you're trying to learn something. So use them in your conversations. Use your favorite dialogues in your conversations. Do not force them in your conversations, but use them only when it's relevant. Otherwise, people are probably going to find you a creep or something. The best way to learn something is to repeat it as many times as you possibly can. So, which movies to watch to learn English? Number 1, watch Indian movies in English. Yes, if you are a beginner, first learn how the language is spoken in your own country, then proceed to the way it's spoken in other countries. So, watch Indian movies in English like, Life of Pi, Slumdog Millionaire, The Namesake, The White Tiger. There are so many movies that you can watch, and not just movies. There are also so many web series on Netflix and Amazon Prime, and even on the free streaming apps that you find. Watch them and first learn how English is spoken in your own country. That's a very important first step towards learning any language. Number 2, animated movies. Remember, animated movies are mostly made for kids. So the English that you encounter in those movies, they are very simple and basic level. And that's a good start for you. Some of my favorite animated movies are The Christmas Carol, The Polar Express, Cars, Bolt, Tangled, Frozen. Oh my god, there are so many. When I used to be a kid, I was obsessed with the Barbie movies. I watched almost all of them. Furthermore, the cartoons that used to feature back in our time on Pogo and Cartoon Network, they were all in English. So that was a great learning experience for me too. If you want to watch those cartoons, they are readily available on YouTube. So what are you waiting for? Number 3, the Harry Potter series. Yes, despite all of its red flags, both the Harry Potter books and movies, they are a great way to, brush up your English, especially British English, the way British English is pronounced, the conversation style, British vocabulary, and so on and so forth. Harry Potter is something I grew up with as a child, and the lovable characters just makes it easier for you to get hooked to the HP universe. Moreover, the entire series is sprinkled with some really good idioms, proverbs, beautiful words and expressions, and really witty replies.
Look at you, playing with your cards. Pathetic. We've got final exams coming up soon.
I'm ready. Ask me any question.
All right. What are the 3 most crucial ingredients in a forgetfulness potion?
Forgot.
And what, may I ask, do you plan to do if this comes up in the final exam?
Copy off you?
No, you won't. Besides, according to Professor McGonagall, we're to be given special quills, bewitched with an anti-cheating spell.
If you haven't watched it yet, definitely go and do that first thing. Another tip that I would just like to add here is that whenever you're trying to get accustomed to any accent, choose one accent at a time. So if you are trying the British accent at first, then keep watching movies with the British accent for at least a month and then move on to the American accent, because if you watch all of them together, then in the beginning you're inevitably going to get confused. So choose one accent at a time, spend a considerable amount of time on it, and then move on to the next accent. Number 4, Forrest Gump. It's a beautiful movie and I don't even know what to say about it. It's a beautiful movie. It's based on the lives of different characters, all embodied in one character, Forrest Gump, the main character. It's based in America, and why I'm asking you to watch this movie is because the English used in Forrest Gump is very simple and easy to understand. It's totally beginner level. You should absolutely go and watch this movie right now.
What's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted, Private Gump. Listen up, people.
Now, for some reason, I fit in the army like one of them round pegs. It's not really hard. You just make your bed real neat and remember to stand up straight and always answer every question with, "Yes, drill sergeant."
Is that clear?
Yes, drill sergeant!
Number 5, A Beautiful Mind. Now this too is an American movie, but it's a little advanced. It's not beginner level. But if you want to pick up the American accent and get used to the American conversational style, then this is a great choice for you. The phenomenal story is just the cherry on top, and what makes it even more powerful is that it's based on the life of the Nobel Prize winning mathematician John Nash. Most of it is filmed in the Princeton University campus, and this is the kind of movie that will keep you on your toes right from the beginning to the end. So absolutely watch this movie. It's great for some advanced level English.
Sorry, just give me a moment to redefine my girlish notions of romance. Proof. Verifiable data. Okay. Well, how big is the universe?
Infinite.
How do you know?
I know because all the data indicates it's infinite.
But it hasn't been proven yet.
No.
You haven't seen it.
No.
How do you know for sure?
I don't, I just believe it.
It's the same with love, I guess.
So these are my suggestions. That's it for this video. See you once again in the next video. If you've liked this video, definitely do leave a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already. And definitely do hit the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any of my new videos. Stay safe, take care, keep rocking. Bye.